Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone rule well. And salutations on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word to the hopeful elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in the name and truth and sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin. And this is just a little impromptu. I was just scrolling through YouTube and I seen a topic on a video. It was from, I think it was I can't remember what exactly it was. I didn't save the video to my history, but the title of the video read that there's no more prophets in the canonical Bible, and I think it was one of those YouTube documentaries. I didn't really watch it. I just seen the title and I decided to do a small lesson on it, just because the doctrine that, especially the Christian church is pushing is that there are no more prophets, because I think, and this is me speaking as a man, but I'm pretty sure, the reason why they don't want there to be any more prophets is because they're afraid of the prophecies. They're afraid of what the Lord is going to bring, the judgment that the Lord is going to bring on this planet. I think that's one of the reasons why they avoid the second death, and they avoid the promise that the Lord made that he would destroy the world again by fire, not by water. I think they're avoiding things like that, especially they're avoiding the charagma, because they're afraid of these things. That's why the so-called rapture is all rose petals, and sunshine, instead of, what the Lord said it really is going to be, which is a day of thick darkness and gloominess, And, the Christian church wants to keep everything all happy and all love, and that so-called that positive reinforcement dogma, when the scriptures are totally different. Matter of fact, just really quick, because I feel that it's meat. Ezekiel. It's Ezekiel chapter 33. I believe I typed in the wrong scripture. There we go. Ezekiel 2 and 10. Man, Salaki. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 10, it says, "And he spread it before me, and it was written, and without," which is the scroll. It says, "And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe." Now, when you go into these words, lamentations, mourning, and woe, all mean the same. They're virtually the same thing, which is misery, and death, languishing. So that's what's written here in the scriptures, not rose petals and not sunshine. When you go into the word mourning here, well, let's go into the word lamentations. It says dirge, elegy. It says a dirge as accompanied by beating the breast or on instruments. So this is a dirge is a judgment, So a dirge is a beating, right? So that's the first one, lamentation. Then you have mourning, which is hagah. It says a rumbling, growling, moaning, a sigh, moan, sighing, a muttering. It says a growling or a moaning. So when you look at this, thought, meditation. So that groaning or moaning, you only grow, sigh, or mourn when something is grievous, So we have a dirge, which is a judgment. We have mourning, which is, essentially a sad thought, and you have woe. It says wailing again. These are action words. Wailing, lamentation, noun masculine, lamentation, wailing. It says as written, it were lamentations and mourning and wailing. Yeah, wailing, which means mourning, man, which means misery. When you wail, you are in misery, Comes from the Hebrew word hayah, So when you're mourning, you are in misery, man. So there's nothing written in the scriptures but lamentation is mourning and woe. There's no happy endings for anyone in the scriptures, man, except for the elect, And this is the reason why they don't want to deal with prophecy. That's why they say there are no prophets here on the planet Earth, because the prophecies are nothing to make light of. This is Amos chapter, and the scriptures say something different than what the Christian church is saying. This is Amos 3:6. It says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?" It says, "Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?" So there will be evil done in this great city, man, called Babylon. The city without walls. So it says, "Shall there be evil done in the city, and the Lord hath not done it?" That's a rhetorical question. Because when you read Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 5, it tells you that the Lord creates light, darkness, good, and evil. So the Christian church, man, they believe that Satan's around here terrorizing everybody with free reign to terrorize everybody, and that's not true. Shaitan, is a left-hand angel, of Yahweh, and he does the bidding of the Lord, man, pursuing to Job, the 6th chapter, It says, "Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets." Now, what is his secret? The prophecies, man. What's going to come up the timeline, what's going to happen next, play by play, man. And that's what these scriptures are. That's what's written in the scriptures, man, are the prophecies. What's going to happen next, If you notice, it started with, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city?" That trumpet is a warning, and it can only be blown by the prophets, And it says, "And people not be afraid." So that's the thing. They are afraid, man. The prophets are on the four corners of the earth right now, sounding the trumpet, pushing the word, pushing the name of the Lord. The name of the Lord is ringing again in the earth, man. And they're afraid of this. It says, "But he revealed his secret," meaning the prophecies, "unto his servants, the prophets." Unto his servants, the prophets. See, the prophets are the true servants of the Lord, man. Because they worship the Lord in spirit and in truth. The prophets are the ones that they call, or that they used to call, seers. Meaning that they can visualize the prophecies, man. That's why they get dreams and visions, so that they can see what's happening. This is 1 Samuel chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, "Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High, thus he spake, Come and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer." Let's go into that word seer. It says seer, prophet, prophetic vision. A seer, but also abstractly a vision. It says part actually seeing visions. A seer, a prophet. Vision. So they totter even in their vision. So yeah, so a seer means visions or visionary, like Apostle Gabar always likes to go into, man. You have to be a visionary to see to be able to understand and to see these prophecies, man. And one such prophecy that, to be honest with you, especially when it comes to the Israelite church, I like to, we all know, the Christian black church, they call it. When you look at that, and you look at, more and more so-called churches are proclaiming that they're Israelites now, which, we know what that's about. But whether it's a defense tactic, or whether they truly believe they're Israelites, every Israelite should see this prophecy here, or this retelling of the prophecy here, and rejoice, and be glad, because the vision that is seen, or the prophecy that is seen, is the vision of Israel's deliverance. And this is all that we're speaking to the people, man. People like say, oh, all the prophets did in the Old Testament was talk about judgment and destruction, you know. But that's all they had to talk about because Israel was going off, you know. But they want to equate everything to the whole world, and that's just not realistic, you know. So these are, and that's another thing. These prophecies aren't for all people. That's another reason why they're afraid, you know. They want they want the whole world to reap of the prophecies of the Lord, and that is simply impossible, you know. So that's another reason why they just throw the prophecies and the prophets out the window, because it doesn't believe what it doesn't agree with their personalization of what a prophecy is concerning the world, you know. If that, Slocky, if that, you know, hopefully that makes sense. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people." You know, and this hasn't exactly, now he's visited and redeemed his people, you know, meaning we've been bought back, you know, by the spilling of his blood. It says, "And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David." And that horn of salvation, or that power in the house of David, is Yahushua, you know, because Yahushua came from the loins of King David. You know, he's a direct descendant. You know, if you have ears to hear, you know, it says, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets," see, "which have been since the world began." And the holy prophet told King David at that time, man, that the king, you know, that was going to come through his loins, man, and his kingdom was going to be an everlasting kingdom. So this is a prophecy that was foretold to King David, you know, and it's been foretold since the beginning of the world, man. I'll read it again. It says, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began," you know. Since the world began, there have been prophets on the earth, man. You go back to Genesis, the second, I believe the third chapter, you know, where it says the voice of the Lord walking in the cool of the day. The voices don't walk, you know. That voice was the prophet, man. You know, that's who they were hiding from. When it says they tried to hide from Adam and Eve tried to hide from the face of the Lord, you know, they were hiding from the prophets, because you can't hide yourself from the Most High. Scripture says his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So who were they hiding from? They were hiding from the prophets on earth. You know, he that has an ear, let him hear. It says that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. See, this prophecy hasn't happened yet. We haven't been saved from our enemies and all that hate us. We haven't been saved from other nations. We're still in captivity under Esau and these various other nations to this day. You know, so this is a future prophecy. It says to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. You know, so that holy covenant is to, you know, is to be perfect. You know, to have the laws put into our inward parts, man. You know, the mercy promised to our fathers is our deliverance. It says the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, right, which was to bring us into our own land, man, and we'll finally be brought back into our own land in the kingdom. You know, when this place has reaped judgment and destruction. It says that he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. Exactly, because we'll be able to keep the commandments, you know. We'll be able to keep our customs and our laws in our own land, you know, instead of ducking and dodging, you know, for our overseers, man. It says, in holiness and righteousness before him in all the days of our life. And that's the point, you know, because when you read Sirach chapter 12, Ecclesiasticus 12 and 13, tells you that the whole duty of man is to keep the commandments and fear the Most High, you know. So that's what we were created for. And when we are finally delivered, we will be able to perform our duty, which we were created for, you know, in the Lord, man. This is one of the prophecies that, you know, does not get spoken about, man. This doesn't talk about the rest of the nations. This talks about the specific ethnic group of people, man, starting with King David, you know, and Abraham, you know. No other lineage, no other nations can say that they have King David in their lineage line of their families, man. You know, we can use Abraham, you know, because he's the father of a multitude, you know. But they can't use King David, you know. They can't use these prophecies that are given to King David because he's the only one that's received them, you know. This is Sirach chapter 39, verse 1. And this is a huge point, man, because the thing is that the Christian church, they don't know anything about prophecy because they don't study, they don't read, you know, they don't delve into the dark sentences of the scriptures, They take everything for face value. The Spirit doesn't rest upon them enough for them to, or at all, rather, but the Spirit doesn't rest upon them for them to go into the prophecies. But to ones that are prophets, it does. This is Sirach chapter 39, verse 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High," that's a key point, because the Christian church doesn't believe in the law of the Most High. So number one, you have to give your mind to the law of the Most High, right? And is occupied in the meditation thereof. So now you have to think upon the law. Will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, right? Because the scriptures tell us that our wisdom comes from the law, and be occupied in prophecies. And that's a given because there are prophecies within the law, He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. So following this 3-step process, of giving your mind to the law, of thinking about the law, and reading the law, then you will have the sayings of renowned men, and you will be where subtle parables are. So the Lord will give you the understanding of parables, man. All you have to do is give your mind to him. This same thing in Amos chapter 3, man, tells you surely he will do nothing but reveal the secrets unto his servants, the prophets, So when you go back into Sirach 39:1, it says, he will keep the sayings of renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. So he'll be conversant in prophecy. There will be no reason to be afraid of them, because you understand where the Lord is bringing them from, and where the Lord is taking the rest of the world, man. And what's going to be here what was here at the beginning, and what's going to be here at the end. Because the scriptures do say that the end is manifest. The scriptures do say that the day of doom shall be the end of this time. That's what the Lord said. So why be afraid when we understand that it's coming? But the thing is that these people don't understand, because they haven't been given the grace and mercy to understand, Like Yahweh Shai told Peter, he said, "For it is given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven." This is John chapter 15, verse 15. This is the last scripture here. It says, "Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth." Right? Now, reading Amos 3:6, it says, he gives the secret to his servants, the prophets, right? Now, this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, "But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you." So he's giving us the inside scoop, because we're his friends, Lord willing, So we're not only are the prophets servants. Yes, the prophets serve the Lord, but we're also, Lord willing, friends of Yahweh Shai. And that gives us a one-up on the rest of the world, man. That gives us an advantage, an advantage of what? An advantage of being seers or prophets, This is something that the Lord is trusting us with. You don't tell, you don't tell everyone your secrets, right? He said, "For all things I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you." That's a secret. That's he's confiding in us, right? Going back to Amos 3:6, he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets, So we'll read this John 15 again. It says, "Henceforth I call you not servants, for a servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made unto you." So all the prophecies and the wisdom that the Lord gave Yahweh Shai, he's given to us in the scriptures, man. He's given to us through visions. He's given it to us through dreams. And like I said, you don't tell your friends. You don't tell anyone but your friends your closest secrets. And the Lord's secrets happen to be the prophecies, man. One big prophecy is the prophecy of the Cherubim in Revelation, the 13th chapter. One prophecy is the third woe, written in Revelation, and in Joel, the 2nd chapter. These things have been revealed unto the prophets. So there's irrefutable proof that the prophets are still around today, and the prophets are still prophesying now today, man. And those that have an ear, let them hear. And they won't be afraid of the prophecies. They'll run to the prophecies. That's the point of being a prophet. Proclaiming the prophecies upon the housetop, so that way, We're warning people that wait, they can may be saved, you know. Scripture say the righteous run into a strong tower and are safe, you know. And a prudent man foreseeth the evil. That's another thing. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, you know, and hideth himself. That evil are the prophecies, man. We hide ourselves. Where do we hide ourselves? In that strong tower, which is the name of the Lord, you know. But the fool looketh on and are punished. And that's what's going to happen to 2/3 of our nation and the rest of the 17 other nations, man, on this planet Earth, you know. So with that, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I want to give all praise to call Lord Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone and well. Salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and truth and sincerity. Shalom.